What's good, everybody? It's Without Warning, and we back with the Grammys episode, part 2. And this time we're going to start up at 2017 and get to 2022. Let's get it.
Into another solid year, in my opinion, where they didn't get it right, but they were kind of close. 2017 Rap Album of the Year, which are 2016 albums. Coloring Book by Chance the Rapper took this one home. This is actually a big W to a lot of people. This surprised a lot of people. Although this album was good, it did go up against Kanye West's The Life of Pablo, Schoolboy Q's Blank Face LP, Drake's Views, DJ Khaled's Major Key, and De La Soul's and the Anonymous Nobody.
Yeah, I would have gave this one to The Life of Pablo. At least now. Now I would give it to The Life of Pablo.
I would have back then.
I don't know what I would have said back then, but I think a lot of people forget just how insanely huge Chance was at this time. We were saying this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he also won Best New Artist at this Grammys and may have won one for one of his singles or his songs as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this choice at all. Coloring Book, it's still a great album, even though it's harder to listen to now just because of the trash that was the big day and just kind of how Chance's public image isn't what it once was, but like it still has great tracks.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories to the Coloring Book. Everyone remembers what it was like listening to this album in 2016 and 2017. Like, it was great. But even back then, like, I would have taken Views and The Life of Pablo both over this album. For me personally, Views was people forget how big Views was. Like, Views was the most anticipated album like of our time. Like, he was going crazy with 2015 singles, hyping up Views with all the ad-libs, and he delivered on that album. To a lot of people, it didn't reach that hype. So I feel like when people went back and like judged it, this one didn't get crazy publications like 8s, 9s. It was pretty mid for Drake, but I still would give it to The Life of Pablo at the time. The T-Lop isn't my favorite Kanye album, but I think T-Lop is better than Coloring Book.
Yeah, I agree. I think Views aged pretty well for me too, because at the time I probably would have definitely had Views below Coloring Book and Life of Pablo, but like it's a little bit more shaky for it now. This is definitely a huge year in hip-hop though. This is also when artists like Cardi and Uzi and 21 and stuff were starting to come up, and none of those guys none of them were getting recognition. Like, you weren't seeing X winning Best New Artist.
You didn't even see Travis Scott in the Grammys here.
Yeah.
Like, Rodeo did not make either of these Grammys. I think it would have been up for early 2016 or maybe 2017 because it was like September, October, and later in the year there. So it would have been up for either of these. Didn't get nominated for people wondering where the fuck is Travis Scott. Not on the Grammys radar at the time. Although he had big singles like Antidote and stuff on that album, it wasn't as big as people think it was at the time. Like, there were a couple big songs, but Rodeo's an album that just got bigger over time, I would say. Yeah. So I feel like that's a question a lot of people would say. Like, they didn't put Rodeo in here. Like, it was not thought of as one of the top trap albums when it really came out for Grammys to put it in there.
Yeah. Also notice that we haven't said the name Future once in this entire episode, which is insane.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. They weren't that big. Future got big because really from What a Time to Be Alive as a full-scale artist that got picked up by big publications, Grammys, VMAs, and stuff like that. But his earlier work like Monster, not on here. That's one we could have talked about for 2015. When Iggy Azalea was getting Grammy nominations, Future's Monster was not.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's a wild fact.
Next, going into 2018. This was a good Grammys. I really loved 2018, 2017 year, obviously. Everyone loves this 2017 era. Damn took this one home. Shout out Kendrick. Back-to-back winning albums for him going into it. But Damn ended up beating out 444 by Jay-Z, Culture by the Migos, Layla's. That's Layla's Wisdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Damn.
Say it again.
Layla, yeah.
No, I mean, just like say the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again.
So Kendrick Lamar's Damn ended up winning this Grammy. It beat out Jay-Z's 444, Migos' Culture, Rhapsody's Layla's Wisdom, and Tyler, the Creator's Flower Boy. This is so tough,
I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie to you either.
Culture is my favorite album on this list.
I'm taking Flower Boy for this Grammy, bro. I could see an argument for any of these, realistically. Like, I know people love Damn. Damn is an album that's just, like, so there. It has everything you need. Like, it has crazy raps. His lyrics on the album are insane. It has huge hits. Kendrick's biggest songs are on this album.
Yeah. His instrumental and vocal performances are crazy.
Yeah, like, we're hyping up Damn, and we're not picking it to win this Grammy. I would take Flower Boy just personally. This was the album that I think Tyler, the Creator, was just like sat down after 2015 and was like, I need an album that is going to be the best album that I've made. He put everything into Flower Boy, in my opinion. He created a new sound, something that was totally needed in hip hop, and he killed it. Like, it's not like some album that was just like put together kind of like his earlier work, like Cherry Bomb. He wanted this one to be perfect, and this is like damn near a 10 out of 10 album for me.
Facts. He created a whole new image for this album too.
Yeah.
Like you said, he had been snubbed in the past. He decided this is the point where I'm going to be a pop star.
Like I'm just going to be an amazing artist and I'm going to put together an amazing album. And he did that.
Yeah.
Like Flower Boy to me is like really true art and what you want to do with your work. Like this era of Tyler was just so great to see. Like he was not low key, but he was like big. But then when he started to go on the Flower Boy tours and doing those festivals, he was headlining. Yeah. So it was just an awesome time period to see someone that you loved in middle school be the biggest artist and get recognized for it. And I think this album deserves all of it.
I mean, he was already pretty big. Like he was having his own festivals. Like Camp Flogna was just getting bigger and bigger. And I don't mean that he was becoming a pop star in a negative sense. Because when people say that, you think of
he was becoming a household name.
Yeah, but people think of pop stars as someone who's like fully orchestrated by like a machine, which he was, but he is the machine.
Yeah,
like just the Odd Future turning into his new Flower Boy aesthetic.
Golf the Wang, shows, everything
Golf Wang
was
coming
just,
together.
Bro, that whole era of Tyler is just like what people dream to be when they start rap careers, and I think that just did it for me. Like that is my favorite Tyler album. It probably will always be, and I'd give this Grammy to it. I would have loved to see it win, but like you can't be that mad. That
I probably would still take Damn. I know I said Culture was my most enjoyed at the time, but I feel like it doesn't hit as hard now because what the Migos has dropped since then hasn't been up to the par. Like Kendrick and Tyler have both dropped tons of amazing music since then, which just makes their old stuff so much more special to go back to.
Yeah, I would put it Flower Boy, Damn, 444, Culture. Probably Layla's Wisdom and then Culture for like right now, but it's so hard though because Culture is so good. Like this is a great year.
Yeah.
This is a really, really, really great year. Like this is probably outside of the one that Macklemore won, like out of the 5 albums nominated, these have the best and the most good. These are all like 8, 9, 10 out of 10 albums to me.
And then you have, a whole new sound coming up, not even being discussed at this time at a Grammy level. Like you had Playboy Cardi self-titled, you had Love is Rage 2, 17.
Yeah, so that's kind of what you'll see. Like the people that you think are the biggest artists now, like Cardi, Uzi, Travis Scott, when they were coming up and the albums that you love, none of them were nominated for
Birds
Grammys.
Was out this year too.
Yeah, Birds did not make it as well. Like he was still not at that Grammy level for people to see. Obviously, I honestly don't even know. Like I would put self-titled in here, absolutely, but like I'm not expecting the Grammys to.
I mean, like it was a commercial mixtape too. Like they didn't even build that as his first official release, but
next year, the following year, 2019 Rap Album of the Year Grammys. Everyone knows that Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B took this one home over Mac Miller's Swimming, Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap, Pusha T's Daytona, and Travis Scott's Astroworld.
Yeah, this one,
I'm taking all 4 of those albums.
Yeah, me too.
Over Invasion of Privacy. Like I know Cardi B she's big. Great to see just like music and women striving at a high level in hip hop, making hits. But in terms of a concise project, when you're looking at it like song for song, just like that album does not stack up to any of these 4 albums.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like Invasion of Privacy I think is pretty good. Like it's kind of the same thing as Macklemore, but like worse, because I think Invasion of Privacy is better than The Heist. But it's just like Cardi B should just be celebrated for what she was, which was a okay rapper.
Yeah.
But then putting her against like these 4 albums just brought so much hate her way. Although like so much more support too from her fans.
Yeah.
But I would probably take Astroworld. For me, it would be between Astroworld and Swimming. I think, but Astroworld, just everything about it was pretty much perfect. And the way that Travis hasn't dropped an album in 5 years and people are still talking about this album. Yeah. People are still doing song rankings. People are doing remixes.
Come on, man.
Taking the acapellas, everything.
It's Astroworld. For me, like I said, you hit it on the nail. Invasion of Privacy is not a bad album, but the Grammys just overdid it. Like Bodak Yellow should have been Record of the Year. It should have won those awards. It was a huge song. It was the best-selling hip-hop song. It went crazy. We were listening to Bodak Yellow at parties. Like, It's a good song. If that wins Record of the Year, Rap Song of the Year, I'm totally fine with it. But when you want to go overboard and put this album over Daytona, Astroworld, Swimming, and Victory Lap, they kind of just dragged it. Yeah. For real.
I wouldn't even put Bodak Yellow above the best songs in those albums.
No, but I could see it winning, though.
Even on a commercial level, it should be like sicko mode.
Yeah, that's facts. But even in my head, though, like I could justify Bodak Yellow winning. Like she was no one knew who she was, and she had the biggest record in the world. That's something amazing. For me, at least. So it's like I could see something like that winning a Grammy. And I think it would be well-deserved in that case. But against these albums, I don't know. Like exactly what I said for Flower Boy is the same for Astroworld. Like that was a beautiful time for Travis Scott. Yeah. Like that's just the definition of the come up to dropping the biggest piece of work that you've been trying to make your whole life, and it just successfully doing everything you've wanted it to. Yeah. Like his fans loved it. His people that were haters loved it. No one shit on this album. Like it was hard.
Yeah, it really was like a first listen. Just almost universally praised, and then has only grown since then. Only difference with him and Tyler, Tyler's given us 2 more projects of that level since then. So, but Utopia hopefully coming soon.
Yeah, so I'm taking Astroworld here. Noah is as well. That takes us into 2020. We were just talking about Tyler. Tyler took this one home in controversial fashion. He wasn't too happy about him winning Rap Album of the Year with a project like Igor, but it did beat out Revenge of the Dreamers by Dreamville, Meek Mill's Championships, 21 Savage's I Am Greater Than I Was, and Corday's The Lost Boy. I agree with this one. Even though Tyler might not want it to be categorized as a Rap Album of the Year, if you take these 5 albums and ask me what is my favorite and what's the best here, I would say it's Igor by a decent amount.
Yeah, I would also say it's Igor out of these ones that are nominated too. Could be like the Grammys are trying to give him like his respect after not having Flower Boy win and like not really being recognized before that. But they did get it right if you're going to categorize this as a rap album.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's like a little controversy around it. I know people because a lot of these nominees are good nominees. Yeah. Like these are good picks for this year and ones that you might not think they would pick. Like you saw Corday get a recognition here. 21 was not somebody that got recognized by the Grammys at all before this, and he was doing his thing like crazy. I Am Greater Than I Was an amazing album and it got nominated. So they did their thing on the nominations here and kind of dropped the ball in Todd's opinion on this, but you can't be mad at this. Yeah, like Igor's the best project.
I think one album from this year that really got snubbed was So Much Fun. Because I think that for Thug was like that Astroworld, that Flower Boy type of moment. Yeah. Where Thug was always an artist that was loved, always had fans, always had incredibly displayed talent. But that was just him finally being able to write an album where like every song had a catchy hook, good bridges, just great production and made sense.
Great features. Like that was a concise, just locked in album for Thug in total. Yeah. Like that was a great time.
Honestly, I think that album should have won this year.
Yeah, that's honestly a fact. I would put Thug So Much Fun over all 4 of these albums on the right side.
And still, up to 2020, no Future to be seen.
No Future, bro. You didn't see Hendrix in 2018. You didn't see DS2 in 2016. Nothing. The Future disrespect is off the charts.
He'd be better get nominated this year.
That's what I'm saying. I never liked you. That's honestly facts. If they don't have Future's album for the Rap Album of the Year Grammys, there's something out there for Future, bro. There have to be people hating on Future's downfall in the nominations. Next year, after this one, 2021 Rap Album of the Year Grammys. These are all 2020 rap albums. Nas wins his first ever Rap Album of the Year Grammy. He's won Grammys before on being writers on other tracks, but this is his first personal Grammy for one of his records or one of his albums winning it. King's Disease took it home over Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist, Alfredo, Royce the 5's 9, The Allegory, Jay Electronica's A Written Testimony, and D Smoke's Black Habits.
Bro, I honestly think this 2021 Grammy Rap Album of the Year, both winner and nominations, was one of the worst ever. Yeah. Up there with Cardi B and Macklemore winning Rap Album of the Years. Because when you look at this, they just did the most overcorrection they ever could. Because they said, all right, 2020, we took a huge L making Igor win when that wasn't a real rap album. And then 2019, we gave it to Cardi B over all these amazing artists. So this year, we're picking that real hip hop.
I know.
We're picking Nas, and we're nominating Freddie Gibbs 5 years late, Royce the 5'9", 10 years late, Jay Electronica, he didn't drop an album in 12 years, so 12 years late, and then D-Smoke.
New up-and-coming true hip-hop artist.
Exactly.
And then we're going to give it to Nas, even though his best album came out 25 years ago.
Yeah, and bro, that's no hate to Nas, and I know we're going to get tons of hate in the comments for this one. We get it. I'm young, whatever. But there are so many albums that had more innovation and commercial appeal that were just not on there. Eternal Take, not on here. My Turn, not on here.
Just crazy.
Pop Smoke, fucking Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Great posthumous album.
Amazing album. Sold like crazy. Me personally, I think we talked about this on a podcast a long time ago because of how bad these selections were. But my personal opinion, Lil Baby's My Turn has to be nominated here.
Yeah.
For his timeline, where he was in his career, he had the best-selling rap album of the year from someone who nobody knew 3 years ago before that. Like, his come-up was insane. And bar for bar, song for song, there's not many rap albums that have dropped since 2020 that are up there with My Turn. Like, people like Lil Baby don't have the best-selling albums unless that's an amazing album. And I just don't see how the Grammys couldn't see that and put it on there at least. Like, if we're putting Royce the 5'9" on here, bro, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, bro. And it's like, again, I think it was an overcorrection because with Invasion of Privacy, like, they just wanted to pick an album that they thought was really popular.
Yeah.
So they said, like, this year we're not going about popularity. We're just picking real music. Mm-hmm. And I think in doing that, like, they also missed there's lots of subgenres that not only were emerging in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, but they
that
were
big now. That is like popular, and hip hop is now the most popular music. And they're picking like stuff that sounds like it should have been released 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah. I respect the Alfredo respect here with Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. That's one of my favorite albums to drop this year.
Out of
these five, Alfredo is by far, in my opinion, better than all the rest of the albums here.
Yes.
A Written Testimony is really, really good. Like, it's not something I can listen to all the time. Like, it's not the most like listenable project for whatever you're doing, but that's what I would pick here if you're giving me a 5. If I had to pick something out of this or just add a new album, I think My Turn should take this for me.
But yeah, man, out of the ones nominated here, I definitely would have to give it to Alfredo. Freddie Gibbs is just such a special artist because he's able to be lyrical and like win respect from older hip hop fans, but while keeping an image and lyrical content, what he's talking about, that's like relatable enough. I mean, you can put him on your playlist next to some drill songs or like next to, I think West Side Gun is another one that's really good at that as well too, that he is able to have enough old school flavor and like traditional lyricism and flows, but still make it original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his album also should have been on here as well.
That's a fact. There's a lot of Griselda albums that dropped from 2019 to now that did not get nominated. We might see one this year though. Respectfully, if I need an album on the next year's Grammys rap album, I better be seeing Benny the Butcher or Conway for either of their albums.
That would be fire.
I would love to see it, and I think it might happen low key. Getting into the latest and greatest, allegedly, getting into the latest rap album of the year, Grammy winner, we have Tyler the Creator's "Call Me If You Get Lost." Give my man's a 3-peat.
Man,
3 albums in a row for my guy winning rap album of the year, but. This one beat J. Cole's The Offseason, Drake's Certified Lover Boy, Nas's King Disease 2, and Kanye West's Donda. Whole lot of albums my man slayed right there.
This one had to be between Call Me If You Get Lost and Donda, I think.
I think we're going to upset some J. Cole fans because I feel like they really love that album. J. Cole fans are eating up The Offseason. They got what they wanted with that album, and it was Cole going crazy. But for me and you, it's between Donda and Call Me If You Get Lost, for sure.
Yeah, I'm personally taking Call Me If You Get Lost. I feel like for me, I was always a little bit of a Tyler fan, but I was always waiting for him to make an album like Call Me If You Get Lost. I think after him winning Rap Album of the Year with Igor, but him not saying that wasn't really a rap album, nor was Flower Boy, that he wanted to show people that he could make that rap album, that it stood on its own like that. It called up DJ Drama, influenced by a lot of like luxury rap. You could like West Side Gun, stuff like that.
You got a Griselda feel to this album, but it's just a little bit elevated because of the Tyler production on this.
Right.
To me, like, this is better than any Griselda album, group or individual, in my opinion. Like, it's such a good album that it was so hard to not pick this one. Like, Donda does have flaws, and it's very controversial to pick Kanye to win this.
Yeah, even with the intro, of course, I'm pretty sure we had a Griselda sample in there. But then, like you said, his production, he was also going back to some older sounds that he like used in like the Cherry Bomb and like days even before that.
Yeah, like Wolf era. And the way he was actually rapping, like that hardcore rap aesthetic, like really came through on this album, but it was still the Lacoste, Golf, Wang, Tyler on it. And I feel like a lot of people connected the dots with a lot of his albums into this one. Like, it feels like a mix of like Wolf, Cherry Bomb, and Flower Boy, really, which is why I think a lot of people love this album to the extent that they do, and why they picked it. One big reason why a lot of people, specifically the Grammys, would not pick Donda, DaBaby, Marilyn Manson connections. It was very controversial what Kanye was doing around this time. And the problem is with a lot of the publications, to support this album, you feel like you have to support all of the decisions Kanye has made up until then. So, am I surprised at this? Not at all. I personally would have picked Donda over this album. I think the long parts of Donda do make it a bit too long of a list, and this is a 2-hour long album. Call Me If You Get Lost is like 16 songs, like 45 minutes, something like that. Donda, 2 hours or so, 27 to 30 tracks with the part twos. It's way too long. But to me, if you took 16 of the best songs from Donda, I think it would match up. If not, it would be better than Call Me If You Get Lost, just to me. And overwhelming amount of good songs on Donda, plus that whole concerts in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and the peaks on Donda to me just reign over the ones that Call Me If You Get Lost. So I would take it, but if you asked me who I think the Grammys are going to pick out of these, I would tell you it's Tyler.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you with Donda. There was a couple tracks in that. I think if you cut it, you have an almost flawless album.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of verses I felt like with Kanye were like kind of unfinished, versus Call Me If You Get Lost felt very polished. Only 16 tracks, I believe. Yeah. But I also do think that the highs on that are right there with Donda's highs. But I mean, like songs like Wilshire, songs like Hot Wind Blows, some of my favorite Tyler songs ever.
Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance,
yes.
Corso, Lemonhead, What's Your Name? Like, this is a very solid album in the history of music. Like, there are not many albums that dropped in the past 5 years that are better than Call Me If You Get Lost. But I would say the same for Donda. Like, I don't know why I feel so connected with Donda. Maybe it was just like the time, but there are like 3 or 4 Kanye songs on this album that I genuinely feel like are his best songs, like, ever. Like, Life of the Party, Come to Life, Off the Grid are like some of the best rap songs ever made. Not only just like in the last year. Like, I listen to those songs so much more than I listen to the biggest songs that I listen to on Call Me If You Get Lost. But when you go down to like and look at the albums top to bottom, like there are definitely more skips on Donda.
Yeah.
And I literally probably would not skip a song on Call Me If You Get Lost. It's just kind of like what you value in music at the end of the day and what you listen to more. So that was the last album of the Grammys. We're looking forward to see what they pick next year, because it better be Future, and some other acts like Griselda better be on there. So we're definitely going to be reacting to that when it comes out. But if y'all made it this far in the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and there's a bell next to the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications on YouTube. But for that, we appreciate y'all, and we're out. Peace.